very pleased to be introducing Abigail McGrath, who I just met. For the first time this evening, and I was asking Abigail how she would like to be introduced, and the first thing she thought was to say about herself was that I'm a survivor.
I'm from Fort Greene.
She's from Fort Greene.
Just so you know, I'm comfortable with my Brooklyn eyes.
So yeah, not a survivor, not in any sort of tragic way, but in a proactive, celebratory way is how it was presented. And so we're so pleased to have you here. She's speaking about how women of color have viewed the dinner party over the years. Her current projects include being a founding member of Off-Center Theater and curator of the Renaissance House Writers Retreat in Martha's Vineyard, and you may know her as Superstar from Andy Warhol's Tub Girls. So Abigail, we're so excited to hear you talk. Thanks for being here.
I have to tell you how pleased I am to see how Brooklyn has evolved, right? And how when I was a little girl, living in Fort Greene housing projects, going to the little bit schoolhouse on the L, the Middle Avenue L. Do you remember that? And nobody. Okay. In any case, the most difficult thing in the world in all of our daydreams is getting out of Brooklyn. My granddaughter will only live, she just moved back to Brooklyn, had beautiful apartments, all in Manhattan. No. I gotta get into Brooklyn. So Brooklyn is just, it is just so wonderful to see that it's truly appreciated. And this museum, good heavens, truly appreciated for being inclusive and making sure that it's not an elite type of thing, which is what museums really should be, and when they get all that money, it's got them in to charge you at the same time. Please, okay. Well, I know most of you know Judy's work, but I really have to tell you that I'm not going to talk about vaginas. I'm an old lady. We never had them. Those of us that did have them, we didn't even know what to do with it. My grandmother used to say to me, you gotta take a bath because you gotta soak it. She never said what it was. Taking a shower is nice, she would say, but it doesn't really clean you down there. Another one, I never ever knew what that was. But Judy, our girl Judy, paved the way. So by the time Eve Ensler's vagina monologues came along, it was like a piece of cake. So, if I'm not going to talk to you about vaginas, you know I'm not going to talk to you about C-U-N-T. Or, as we used to say, see you next Thursday. People want me to talk about Judy, because in case you haven't noticed, I'm black. Almost the same age as Judy, and there's this general feeling amongst my women friends that Judy was exclusionary in her selection of the women she celebrated. The only African-American woman is Sojourner Truth. And she's also the only African-American woman that you learn about in history. So now, if you do the numbers right, my sisters are correct. Black people are 10% of the population. There are 39 women at the table. In order to be fairly represented, there should be 3.9 women of a deeper hue at that table. Now, if you count the prehistory women and mythological women, you can get your 3.9, depending on if you consider Egyptians, Sumerians, Hindi, Minoans to be black or white. Yeah, okay. She excluded a lot of really important black women. She also excluded a lot of really important women activists. Why she did this is her business. It does not diminish the strength of the art. What this woman did was conceive of a way to get women to think differently, and more importantly, to think differently about themselves. And that is really hard to do. Could you do it? No, so shut up. When Judy was coming up, there were museums and galleries which simply did not allow women to participate. What did they gain? What do you men gain, thank you very much, by excluding women? Did holding on to power mean so much to men that they dismissed their mothers and their sisters and their daughters? Worse yet, were the women who, in order to keep their cushy jobs, went along with the program. It is so easy to say, oh, it's not good art, which is what they said many times, instead of saying flat out that they were self-loathing women and that women cannot create and only men can. When Helen Weiner was the director of the Museum of Art at Pomona College, where Judy went, she did not show one woman artist. She showed William Wegman and his Weimarans. She showed Jack Goldstein and his 6-month drown, but she did not deem one single woman worthy enough to be shown. She made sure there was no female participation. And what do we learn about people being denied participation? What did James Baldwin teach us? Quote, people who are denied participation of the American dream simply by their very presence will wreck it. Now, when you refuse to allow someone to participate, they will come back at you as an enemy. But our girl Judy did not do that. She came back by not going away. She did not marry the dentist, thank you, move to the suburbs and teach art as a volunteer. She kept sticking it to them and sticking it to them and getting down and kicked around, staggering up and sticking it to them again. Now, art that does not bring about change in you particularly may be technically art, but it is not spiritually art. And that's what makes our Judy's art so good. It brings about change. You can quibble with it all you want, but gosh darn it, you are different after you have seen it than before. Her spiritual intentions are correct. She may not always connect with her audience, but her intentions are pure. My very dear best friend, Tana Ross, she's a documentary film, award-winning documentary filmmaker, says that it was Judy's dinner party which changed her life. She was working as a biologist at Mount Sinai Hospital, and she always had a hankering for the arts, but she had 2 kids and a husband who was an artist. Of course, he's more important, right? So she assumed that her place was to help out with earn money. Her husband was the writer, the artist. It was her job to help his career. Don't you go snickering at me like that. We were all in that position at one time. I mean, women of my age were all in that position at one time or another, and I still am. In any case, Tana went to the show, bought everything you could buy, maxed out her credit card, read every word Judy wrote, went to work the next day, quit. Yep, wrote the outline for her first documentary that night, and has been making documentary films ever since. Now that's what I call change. If I had seen the show at the time, I may never have had to write a lesson plan on the blackboards of Wingate High School. I don't think I would have said, oh, there's only one black woman invited to the party. I better give up my dreams of self-fulfillment. If Tana were the only one, if she were the onlyest woman to make that drastic a change after seeing Dinner Party, that alone is enough to give Judy the halo when she gets up to heaven. Do any of you know Ella Tuen? Okay, she's a big-time artist. She's a sculptor, and she does women's bodies that have strength and power, and they are not photoshopped. And Ella was a close friend of mine on the Martha's Vineyard, and her portrait of Alfred Eisenstein is in the collection of the National Portrait Gallery. Everybody loved Ella's work, as long as she confined herself to naked women. The moment She did naked men. She was accused of being pornographic. She had a piece called Adam and Eve, and it was in the lobby of an office building in downtown Washington. And don't you know that the women in that building complained so much about Adam's nudity that they had to remove the statue? It was okay to have Eve standing there naked as a jaybird with her boobs and vagina all exposed, but have a man show his penis? Oh my God, that's porn. Many times, Judy couples gender equality with racial equality. John Lennon has a song, oh shoot, is anyone here old enough to know the Beatles or John Lennon was a very well-known singer in the last century. There's a song called Woman is the Nigger of the World. Woman is the nigger of the world, yes she is. Think about it. Woman is the nigger of the world. Think about it. Do something about it. We make her paint her face and dance. If she won't be a slave, we say then that she don't love us. If she's real, we say she's trying to be a man. While putting her down, pretend that she's above us. You know, woman is the nigger of the world. Yeah, if you don't believe me, take a look at the one you're with. Now, people will tell you that there's a parallel between the struggle for women's rights and civil rights. That's not true. There are many similarities, but at the root there is a huge difference. Please note that the song is not "Nigger is the woman of the world," right? People, black people, have always been the last step when it comes to oppression. How Lois Jones and Howard Dean Pindell achieved any sort of fame at all is a testament to how superior we are. Men are not as likely to put white women in jail, hang them, sell them, rape them, or destroy them. Oh, they do it. I didn't say they didn't do it. But they do it to black women more. And let's not talk about what they do to black men. Black women are used to being impoverished, or they used to be impoverished. You have to have a little money to be an artist. It is true that women and black people, or people of color, are not paid the same as white people. Judy says that a lot. Their work is said to be not as good as white men, or my favorite, your work is too good for a group show. It will make all the others look pale in comparison. They actually said that to Lois Jones, right to her face. Lois Jones is a painter from the Harlem Renaissance, and a friend of my mom's. She did the smart thing, it's what Judy should have done with her piece, Rainbow Picket. Did you notice Rainbow Picket when they showed it before? It's those stripes of wood painted different colors. Lois switched names with a male friend of hers, and when Mr. Big came around to look at the work, he praised the work and damned the other. It was a great way of proving that judges carry baggage with them, but it didn't cut any ice. Lois started jumping him down, and I said, see, and the man was not pleased. So he ended up not picking either one of them and taking the male painter aside and scolding him. I wish I could say that it was just men. I wish I could say that it was just white men, but I can't, because women can be equally blind. I have a retreat for writers on Martha's Vineyard, and we are very fortunate in that we get a lot of men in an environment which is usually filled with women. But one of the things we discuss is when to write, because part of the program is you have to cut out a block of 3 hours every day and just write during that time. The women usually say, oh, I do it early in the morning while the house is quiet and before I make breakfast. Or they say, after I finish the dishes and put the kids to sleep. The men say, I write whenever the spirit hits me, or whenever I feel like it. Men always think that what they have written is the most important thing in the world. Women say, if you're not too busy, I can come back later, or this isn't very good, I know, but I wanted you to read it and to tell me where I went wrong. Okay, so let's talk about the work. To get an MFA in art, women have to study what men have done. Men don't have to study what women have done. Back in the day. Okay, I don't know about today because they have feminine art classes, so they might be able to. In the art world, either you make your work look like it was done by a white man, or you hunker down, please yourself, and know that you may never sell a thing. It is really hard to be an artist. You know you're going to be scrutinized, so you sort of self-censor yourself before you even start. Our Judy never did that. She never tried to fit between the lines or confine herself to what I call ghetto space, which is the canvas, you know, it's like a border and you have to paint it within it. She worked with a sense of abandonment, which transformed the audience. Franz Klein, oh shoot, you know who Franz Klein is? Okay, all right. Franz Klein can do his broad manly strokes, but our Judy puts a little lace on a plate and it's hooted out for being feminine. I am not an art historian, although I used to date one. So that's good enough for me to say I'm an authority. Thank you. Truth be told,